Greetings and salutations, everybody. Hi, we're back. We're actually back with Abeyance. My God.
Yes.
Holy shit.
I
Yeah.
didn't think it would happen.
Yeah. Boo bub. Anywho, I'm going to hand things over to Nick. Just as a heads up, I'm going to be back and forth from the table from the computer for a while today because I've got things I got to do around the house. But we're going to do game. I want to get game going. So, yeah. Take it away, Nick.
All right. Will do. All right, everyone. We are back in D&D Abeyance. It has been a long time, so just to bring everyone back up to speed. Currently, everyone is gathered outside of a sort of safe house of the person that you have been investigating in the last several sessions, known only as Stanford. He is the prime suspect, as you guys have been investigating all the different souls that have been disappearing, primarily. In this case, Cecilia Teague, the artist who you started investigating sessions and sessions ago, honestly, at this point. Stanford was originally noted as being someone who would occasionally purchase her artwork. You were pointed in his direction as being potentially the source of her disappearance and a connection to the Scuttlers, the criminal organization of smugglers that had been distributing drugs into certain areas, potentially may have done something to Cecilia Teague's medication, uh, which may have led to her disappearance. You ended up a couple sessions ago holding an auction for a piece of artwork that Jerome um, claimed. I'm going to say claimed because I think that stolen is a little bit harsh. It's because it is a portrait of him. So Jerome claimed it. You guys decided to use that later and auction it off. Drew Stanford to the auction, and then ended up tracking him via putting a phone in his car as he drove off, and then tracking the phone. So you are now uh, monitoring slash infiltrating the house where he is in, along with a few bodyguards. Uh, and you are also currently accompanied by Sarugi, a Reaper who is kind of the one who is watching over you in this case. She is more aggressive than the other Reapers that you have met up to this point.
Right,
Seems
that's
to
because
operate differently.
she's a
Yeah.
specific kind of
She is a
yokai.
Shinigami, so she
Shinigami,
Right.
yeah.
specifically draws people to their deaths. Is how she operates as a Reaper.
Right. I remember Reiko basically wanted her to just be honest about that fact. It doesn't object to her doing that, just wanted like the pretense of, oh yeah, I'm just a Reaper. It's like, no, you do work different. Let's be honest with ourselves.
And there was definitely some tension between you as a result of that. It's a bit incompatible with how you guys tend to operate, with being more hands off and letting life take its course, and only then stepping in. Uh,
I mean,
and
incompatible with you guys.
right.
I mean, Reiko doesn't super care. She just wanted like the cards on the table.
Right.
Yeah, and in say Jerome's case, it's more of a like professional kind of thing. He's not supposed to do it as part of his job.
Right.
Yeah,
You
like
guys,
it,
you guys work
it from
differently.
Reiko's perspective, is mostly just like, oh yeah, you're from like my culture's history. I know what you're about.
Yeah.
Now, as we left off the previous session, Jerome was beginning a haunting to try and freak out the people who are currently occupying this safe house. So you had gone into the upstairs bathroom in order to do that. To give a little bit of a recap of the way that this place is laid out, it's a two-story building, not that large. There is a backup generator on the outside of the building. The bottom floor features like a kind of like a kitchenette area and a living area, which is where the bodyguards are hanging out, watching stuff on a TV that they've brought in. And the upstairs floor, there is like a master bathroom, which is in the middle of the hallway, which Jerome is in. And there are two rooms to either side of it, which you haven't investigated yet. It seems as though Stanford is in one of the two rooms right now, because you can kind of hear like shuffling around of a person, the way that a person makes when they're occupying a room.
All right.
And I believe Jerome is in the bathroom, and I think that we had established that Dentalion was going to go be on standby by the generator to mess with it if you guys wanted to. That is all that I can recall from last time. What do you guys want to do in terms of your game plan? Like, how do you think you want to go about this? I think that. Oh, I should also note that one of the reasons why uh, Jay recommended Sarugi for this job is that it is with the anticipation that it might have to be like a long term kind of haunting thing.
Mm.
Uh, that might not necessarily end up being the case, but this might be a matter of something that might take you days to investigate as opposed to hours, depending on how you play it. Because it seems as though this is like an area that Stanford has retreated to, with the idea of holding up in it.
Okay. If we want to do some stuff long term, then that means that we can just kind of amp up the stuff over time to really get that fear pumping and make him a little more pliable for what we want him to do. But having an idea of how things are set up around the house and such is a good plan. We don't necessarily need to activate everything all right now. So,
Oh, and I should also leave the table open. If you guys have like any clarifying questions you want to ask about stuff, especially because it's been so long since we played. If you need anything refreshed or just any details hammered out, just let me know.
okay. So for my part, I have some things that I can do to start everything up. It might be behoove us to gather up now that we have a plan for what we want to do for the big stuff, and we can set up idea if that's what we want to do. So with that, I think it's probably a good idea to shit. It might be a good idea for Jerome to check out that room that did not have the shuffling first before um we go he goes to confirm with the others.
Okay.
All right.
I don't really have any kind of mental visual reference for any of this because it is genuinely I when I say I didn't think that we were going to play this again, I was sincere in that. So like I have none of that in my you know in my flesh ram.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
like I remember Reiko as a character, and I remember some of the notable moments. I have no idea what's going on in our current situation, and like the recounting and all of this just kind of blurs in my head. So I'm just kind of here for the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we have. He's in a room largely, probably by himself at the moment. We know
But
of 2 security guards or 3.
there's three, and they're all watching like football on the TV.
Okay.
European style football. I'm just,
One of the one of those three of them has had recently arrived, uh, brought something out of the car, and Stanford took it.
right. And I'm just kind of like under the assumption right now that okay, Stanford's using can probably see us if we're in here. Although I have no idea if that applies to internal surveillance because I know there are cameras in here and I don't know if he can see us through the cameras if he's on this stuff.
I believe when you scoped out the place, you did not spot any cameras on the inside, but you definitely saw some on the outside.
Right. Okay. So my plan now is
I might just be misremembering that. Admittedly, but I might be saying something different from what we had established before.
all right. All right. So like I said, Jerome's plan right now is he wants to scope out the room that we did not hear any sounds from for the time being, because that room with somebody active in it, like it's a closed room. He's going to have to like be somewhat stealthy when he goes into it first.
Hmm.
So in that case, it might actually be a good idea for him to do something like cast a spell or something for that. But we can wait for that.
Okay.
You don't have access to the spell silence, do you?
I do not have silence, but I could just put him to sleep. So
Fair
No,
enough.
I'm just thinking of ways we can spook him while not alerting the guards downstairs.
I think that is on the cleric list.
oh yeah, that's definitely like that. If you do have that, that might be something we could
I
do.
don't have it set, but it's on the list. I do have cast blindness deafness,
Okay.
which is not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. So let's check out that other room upstairs that we don't hear anybody in first, and then Jerome will reconvene with everybody to set up a game plan.
Okay.
Now
Evidently,
that
I don't have any second level spell slots anyway, so it's moot.
You're not level 3?
You've got second level slots. I think that they're just
No, they're
currently
expended, is what I
they're
mean.
they're expended on your sheet. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if that's
I'm going to
basically
trust
just a
that more
bug
than my
or
memory. So
well.
this has
I
been a
don't.
big ongoing thing from what I recall. So
I'm not sure. I'm not. It's been so long. I cannot remember the time of when you guys have had when you guys would have cast the spells versus when you would have had extended
Yeah.
rest. So
Alright. That might be a good idea for us to reconvene anyway, is to just get your spells back, and then we can just leave.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fully charged and ready to go, so if
Yeah,
that's
same
me.
here, but which would involve you as well if we can. All right, so let's check out that room.
all right. So you head into the room, which seems to be currently unoccupied. You poke your head in. Go ahead and to start with, give me a perception check.
A perception check. Did it go through?
It's not
Yep.
very good. Okay. All right. You look around the room. It's a bedroom. It's very much like this is the actual sleeping area. There is a made bed in the corner. You know, double bed, not too uh, luxurious. And there's uh, there is a there seems to be a walk-in closet on one side of the room, but it's generally pretty bare bones. There's a side table. There's what is it called? Bedside table with a lamp on it. And that is about all you really see at first glance. It's pretty utilitarian.
nightstand.
Yes. Well, no, is there a difference between that and nightstand? Stupid
Uh,
terminology for furniture. I don't know.
Nightstand and table, same thing.
Hmm.
It's just
Right.
whether it's next to a bed or next to like a couch or something,
Right.
or like a tiny table, what have you.
All right. All right. If Jerome's is going there, and he's going to take a more in depth look around to see if there's just anything useful in here to, possibly to use as fuel for his haunting, or just information we might need.
Gotcha. Okay. That's going to be an investigation check then.
All right, he's much better at that.
15. All right.
It's average.
Okay. You poke your head around looking for stuff. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of memorabilia in the room or like notebooks or anything like that. But when you do take a look inside of the closet, You do find something kind of interesting, which is there is a small stack leaning against the wall, like opposite the dresser that is in there, of uh, flat frames, uh, about ranging in size from about the size of like a flat screen monitor to almost the size of a window. And after they're all wrapped up in some sort of paper, and you realize shortly afterwards, like, oh, these are paintings.
Hmm. So these are probably the Cecilia Teagues that were bought from the or or maybe not necessarily, just paintings in general that he bought that were used as a means to get in contact with Cecilia or to monitor things like that. Okay.
Nah, they're investments. He buys the shit in hopes that they'll get increase in value. Doesn't actually care about the art.
Well, he knows she's gone, so this might just be one like very long art scam, which would be very funny and disappointing, but
Guys, we
definitely
gotta
very
finish.
fun.
Guys, we gotta finish the campaign. You gotta find out it was all an art scam.
That's just really angry at this art shit's going on. Okay, so that's good. Those might actually be something that could be used later. I actually have an idea for something like those. But okay, with that, I think it's a good idea to return to Dantalion down in the garage. Although I actually haven't been down to the garage yet. Do we need? Do I need to actually just walk through the house for this, or can I just go through the walls, or what am I doing?
There's not really a garage. The cars are parked outside on the like.
Well, wherever the generator was at.
Yeah, the generator's out back.
Gotcha. Uh, let's see. I can't remember how you actually got in before. If you could walk through the walls or not.
I do know I didn't open a door to get in, so
I know that we can't just go through walls as a matter of course in general because we do
Mhm.
have to. We have been impeded by locked doors previously.
Yes.
That was when we were in our flesh suits, though. We're not currently in our flesh suits, are we?
I think that
no.
was the case. I think that was the case. God,
Mm.
I'm having difficulty remembering how my own world works at this point. It has been for a long time. You are all, I should say, in spirit form currently. Yes, so you can proceed in and out without trouble.
All right. So Jerome, he gets back to Dantalion. He's like, okay, I have a good idea of the layout of this place and of where
Right.
uh Stanford currently is. I think it might be a good idea to slowly ratchet up the pressure, but we should return to the others to get a plan going.
I'm not going to do it tonight.
We could do it tonight, but it's not necessarily the time yet to do that.
Well, you're the poltergeist. I defer to your expertise.
His feathers definitely kind of perk up at that. It's like, oh, finally, I get to do my job. So let's head back to the others.
Does seem like a fun job, though.
Oh, it's very fun.
All right.
So,
Okay. Your group reconvenes then.
all right. So Jerome kind of like gives everybody a rough detail of how the house is laid out from what he's seen so far and what he knows for certain, which is, at least the three guards. We're assuming that Stanford's in the one room that's people shuffling around in, where the bedroom's at, and all that stuff at. Um, Jerome just starts talking. It's like, okay, so I think the plan here is we want to start ratcheting up the thing with some very small fonts. just maybe some sounds, just move some things around, make him a little unnervous for a little bit. When we're ready to actually make things go big,
Mm,
he looks at Dan. He looks at Dan. Time. I'm gonna have you shut off the power down in the where it's at,
sounds good.
and then he looks at Reiko and um
Tsurugi.
Gideon, Surugi and Gideon. Yeah,
Yeah.
like while you three are going to be dealing with the guards, and he looks very pointedly at Surugi. Not that way, at least not yet. That's not really my call to make, but we don't want to make too big of a scene unless we need to for that.
Yeah, these guys are just collecting a paycheck. Let's not kill the help if we can help it. Yeah, I
Right.
made a pun.
Like
And how do you want them dealt with?
uh Jerome kind of looks just like
Do you want them out of the way? Would you like them to leave?
that would be making them leave would probably be a bit of a stretch. I don't think they're going to abandon their post of Stanford. I think their instinct at that point would be to go to Stanford and try to pull him out of the house with them if they thought that was necessary. I more need them occupied, asleep, paralyzed, scared out of their minds. Whatever you need to do.
I will say that part of my
What about looking at magazines? I hear that's effective.
Enthralling magazines.
all my spells take the form of my victims reading magazines. Get them a really relaxing or boring magazine to cast sleep. Get them
Hypnotic pattern. You just get the most niche magazine possible that fits directly into their obsessions.
It's literally just
hypnotic pattern. Get them a Playboy.
no. It's one of those magic eye things, and they just have to they can't see the boat, so they just keep looking at it, trying to see the boat.
I'm gonna get it eventually.
Yeah, I was just thinking Metal Gear when I made that comment, but yeah.
That works too.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was never gonna get that one.
Oh, I know you won't.
I'm not sure if I like the way you said that.
I literally haven't played Metal Gear since the fucking 90s. So
Look, I know some people will get it, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm entirely satisfied when I'm the only one who gets a joke.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
Because that's the most important person to get the joke.
Right. At this point, and then he's like, when it's time for me to strike for the big thing, I intend to use one of the paintings that I found upstairs, and I'm going to conjure a fantastical, nightmarish image of Cecilia Teagues to haunt not Gideon, Stanford.
Money. What did I do?
You owe me money.
Where's my money, Gideon?
You're looking for Dracula, dude.
Yeah.
where's my $2?
I want my $2.
Dracula doesn't have your money. Spend it on his Air Jordans.
Ching. Brief aside, if you guys haven't seen Renfield yet, it's a fucking hoot. Check it out.
Oh, neat. I was curious about that, certainly.
Like that's my main.
I will
thing.
say, from what I'm hearing, since I'm back for a bit, if Gideon needs to deal with if Gideon's going to deal with one of the guards, Gideon is actually pretty good at being kind of fucking terrifying. So yeah,
Yeah.
I might even have a spell for that.
If I remember correctly, Dan was largely the face for Stanford. I like the idea of at the height of all this, Dan shows up on one of his Tom Selleck looks and just goes, "Really should have just made the deal, man. Now we have to do all of this."
Yeah,
Tell me
that
what I
is
want to know.
that is sort of like the idea here.
Yeah.
Like Jerome is trying to set up this very nightmarish dream sequence that's going to be involving things that might be on Stanford's mind, like Cecilia Teagues, the mysterious man who threatened him. Not really threatened him, but
I definitely threatened him. I just
yeah,
did it with class.
yeah. His things like that. And these are all things we want to build him. We're going. Stanford feels like he's going to be very tolerant otherwise against our advances to get information out of him. We need to get him into a state where he's going to talk, and that's why we're haunting.
Mhm.
So yeah, like the setup for this, we got stuff. I know I have tools for this. Like if I need to get into a room where somebody's at, I can sleep through the wall, and then go in and do what I need to do to set up. If we need to do things around the house, he can do his unseen servants. He's got minor illusion to make knocks and stuff. We can do fog from the vents. All kinds of things for
Okay.
Jerome to make this happen.
All right. As you're discussing this, Tsurugi does state that I understand you do not want me to take the most active role that I can in your plan, so I will instead say that part of the way that I operate is that people near me who are around me for a long time start to dread certain things. They dread the impending doom that is upon them, you might say. So even if I do not take any action, if your goal is to upset or frighten people, you will might find that you have an easier time of it than usual.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
As a point of clarity, all of us are conventionally unseeable, but they do have the drug that would make us visible. Yes.
Right. If any of them have chosen to take it, then yes, they might see you.
Yeah.
I also just remembered we gave me disguised self so I can do the Gideon thing of manifesting and changing form as necessary.
Yep.
I just am much more limited in it because I only have 4 spell slots as opposed to just doing it at will.
Okay. I'm going to teleport you guys to a diagram that I had to draw freehand.
Oh, cool.
Basically.
Awesome.
Might be helpful.
So there we go.
Helpful.
Okay.
Perfect.
It's been destroyed and remade in our own image.
So left side, that's the first floor. So this area here is kind of the kitchenette area. This door over here should probably be a little bit higher up. Let me see if I can
Right.
actually. Can I move it? Can I move it? Will you let me move? Let me move? No, I can twist it, but I can't move it for some reason. Oh well. So there's an exterior door that should be a little bit further to the north there. There's just kind of a counter here, and then there is a living kind of area here. The square with the circle in it is the stairs.
Okay.
Leading up to the second floor, which is the one on the right. So here is kind of like the bedroom, and there's like the walk-in closet. Actually, I should probably redraw this one a little bit because this is way too big. Hang on.
I was going to ask, where do people poop?
So that
There's a
would
bathroom
be,
up here.
that would be about here.
Okay.
That's the bathroom. Stairwell leads out into a hallway, which is right there. And you haven't been inside this room up here yet.
Yeah, this room up here is where we believe Stanford's at currently. And I'm also going to assume that's where the security setup's at, and he probably has a personal laptop or something that so he can do whatever business he needs to do while he's here. At least
Or
that's
he
my
keeps his Ed
thoughts.
209 security bot.
Which, if true, that is something we're probably going to want to take with us when we leave, because
It's not really worth it.
I'm not turning down the opportunity to have a giant robot. So
right. Diablo Satanica.
this is doomed worlds in the past that I've played in.
Uh-huh.
So just to let you guys know.
It did.
I stepped away. What did you say?
I'm not turning down the opportunity to salvage a giant robot. This is doomed worlds in the past when I played in games. So just to let you know.
Yes.
There, I moved the door. Okay.
Hooray!
There you go. Okay. So the idea.
And this is the generator up here,
All right, out back. That works.
the triangle.
Okay. So then, Jerome, he'll when we start amping things up, he can be here in the bathroom. That gives him plenty of room to do, minor illusion, to do sounds and make things appear and all kinds of things like that, or just move things around with Mage Hand or whatever. I think I have Mage Hand, don't I? Yeah, I have Mage Hand. I can do
You
that too.
definitely have Mage Hand.
Yeah. For Saruki, Jerome is like, if you can do this without being spotted, because we do believe he has the means to see us right now, then by all means, feel free to amp up that pressure a little bit.
She basically just kind of she looks at you for a second, and her smile widens just a little bit, and she nods in a gesture of deference, but you get the feeling that the sentiment behind it isn't quite that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I get to have a little bit of fun, finally. Yeah, so as I said, Jerome's going to spend a little bit of time doing small things, probably from the bathroom, scratches, sounds, get them a little unsettled. And we're gonna build up the pressure using the fear from Sarugi. You all can feel free to do what you think it would be good ideas for that on that front. And when we're ready to strike, we'll turn off the power. You all can deal with the guards that'll probably be down here, and Jerome will start the haunt. Once the Italian's done with the generator, feel free to head upstairs, and we'll get ready to do the big nightmare scene.
Okay.
Before we do start that, if we observe that somebody, does this room here have a window?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be able to see if somebody goes in there, turns on the lights, and gets ready for bed or whatever. Same deal here. This room here have a window.
You've seen, from what you've seen from the outside, it seems that all the rooms in the building have at least one window in them. Yes.
All right.
Except the bathroom, because it's a bathroom, and the closet.
Right.
It's a closet.
So while the big haunt is going on, and we're getting ready to get Stanford to talk, somebody else should probably head up here, make sure there's if there's a computer or whatever in there, because if there's digital evidence of us in here, I don't know if we're going to be caught on recordings or whatever. I don't know how that works for us. I do know there is a history of ghosts possibly being caught on recordings sometimes. So there is a chance of that, plus just having Stanford's laptop.
I have to say, I kind of really hope that for all of the stupid ghost shows, every single one of them is fucking wrong. No, ghosts exist, but every ghost hunting show is full of it.
What's really funny is that the ghost hunting shows are actually being controlled by someone who can see ghosts, and they're helping them to be covered up by sending all the ghost hunters out to places that they know are not haunted.
There we are.
Yeah, all ghost hunting
that
shows
makes
are
them
basically
that makes them extra duplicitous and dumb in a way that is satisfying to me.
All ghost shows are secretly run by the SCP.
Yeah. So I was saying, as we're doing the big haunt, and she's dealt the guards, up here, do the investigation, grab anything that looks useful. We're gonna things like Stanford's phone, things like Stanford's laptop, whatever.
All right, so it's a faceted plan here. You're trying to accomplish multiple things
Yeah.
in doing this. All
Yeah,
right.
getting Stanford to talk is the primary goal here, but any other intelligence that tells us what the hell is actually going on is important.
All right. So it's a building kind of thing. Try and get the dread up over a period of time while you're working on that. Whenever the opportunity arises to try and investigate some of the physical evidence that there may be in the building, you're going to do that as well.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Um, let's, I guess, do this in terms of I guess like a period by period approach. It's not going to be like round by round by any stretch. Um, you'll be when you say you're going to like be working on things. I'm going to assume it's like okay for like a couple hours at a time. I'm going to be like vacation doing this in the hopes of freaking people out and this to freak people out. And while you're doing that, I will alert you when like something happens that would be of note to you for when you might want to go do something else.
Yeah, just like the initial stages, we're building up the stress. We're making sounds that, you know, to be explained away. Things. Like oh, maybe he's like, well, why was there a knock at the door? There's nobody there. Oh, why is my cell phone moved? I know I put that here. Like, where's my like where's my toothbrush? I know I brought my toothbrush. Just doing little things to
Yeah,
rack
I
up
do
that.
have both Mage Hand and Minor Illusion, so I can help out with this.
All right,
Okay.
great.
Okay. Normally I would say like make some sort of like spellcraft roll for just like general usage of your abilities. Before I think we've established that if you want to use sleight of hand for this kind of purpose, the check is going to be you use your sleight of hand check, but because you're using it magically, you'll use your spell casting bonus, whatever the stat is associated with that. So for Jerome, it's going to be the sleight of hand bonus plus the intelligence
Int.
modifier instead of the dex modifier. And for Dentalion, that'll be charisma, I think.
Yep.
And then anything that Reiko is going to do, it draws on your wisdom, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do this. So that's the slight. I'm gonna re-roll that. That's way too low. I know it's a little early to do that, but I think we don't want to give away the game too soon.
I will say that anything that you're doing, since you're establishing that this is part of your haunting thing, that
Can we
you are
qualify
getting-
guidance on this one? Because I'm fairly confident I have guidance.
Let me check on what that do
I
here.
think it's supposed
Oh,
to
never
be
mind. I
like-
don't have guidance. Ignore me.
Unfortunate.
Okay, so
I double checked. I was like, no, I don't actually have that. Never mind.
all right, so we'll do that.
I can aid.
Oh, geez, that's even worse.
Oh,
Yeah, so that plus yeah, like 10, between the two, that would be 10.
Gotcha.
I can
will-
aid another. You rolled it a bit quick before I could declare that I could do that, but
You could be aiding me.
yes.
I will also say that you are also getting a form of assistance for anything that will be done with the intent of frightening people. Is getting a bonus that will build over time. The more that these people are in Sarugi's aura or presence.
Right.
See, like that's something that Reiko's actually kind of good at because I have thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to use thaumaturgy in some way to create some sort of like specter thing, we could say that you could use the spell to do that.
Let me read off a couple of the more relevant effects that you can do with this. You can cause, it says flames, but I presume we can adjust that to light sources to flicker, brighten, dim, or change color for a minute. Cause harmless tremors in the ground for a minute. Create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice within range, such as a rumble of thunder, the cry of a raven, or ominous whispers. You instantly cause an unlocked door or window to fly open or slam shut, and the rest of them have to do with me, and so they're not relevant, so I'm not going to list them. But yeah,
Okay.
like basically I can make, spooky special effects happen, actually.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be in a similar capacity to Jerome using sleight of hand to move stuff around in a spooky way. Sure, absolutely.
So I would like to say that I'm using thaumaturgy to aid. So re-roll, please.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So just reroll that entirely. With
Basically,
advantage?
like interpret it as having advantage.
Right.
All right. So let's just do this with advantage then. Do that.
Much better.
See, I'm a
That's-
good
that's much better.
assistant.
All right. So that's going to be a 24. Is that right?
That'd be 24. Yes.
Okay.
Huzzah.
All right.
You want me throwing in any stuff in here also?
What?
Would you like to?
Sure. I like this haunting stuff. I'm gonna be using. I think I'm seeing as you've got like the moving stuff around thing, and Reiko's got the general ambiance. I'm gonna be using minor illusion to create phantoms just out of their peripheral vision that disappear when they turn to look at them.
Neat. Okay. So are you messing with you're messing with the guards on the first floor right now then?
Yes.
Okay.
So would this be? This is
so-
probably wouldn't be sleight of hand. So would this be deception or performance or?
I do think that is. Let's see.
There sound pretty like, good options for that. Like if you're intimidation might be an option if you're trying to just direct them. Deception, a performance I think would also work well for this.
Interesting. I think that this would says if you if you're playing like a swashbuckler type character, when you do that flourishes, it's qualified as a deception roll, so we can treat it as a deception roll.
Right.
All right, that's
kind of crap. Am I also getting aid from the spooky ambiance?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
at the time that you're at right now, basically you guys are getting a minor bonus to this stuff.
I'll just roll it again. We'll see if it's any better.
No.
It's the exact same thing. All right.
This will eventually build to like you guys are going to get advantage on like anything you do in order to cause fear, but it's starting off stuff right now.
Yeah.
So even if this stuff isn't successful, it's going to build and build the longer you do it, no matter what. Okay. So you guys start setting about, like making like phantom images, causing weird sounds and movements and stuff, which you're not 100% certain how much it's affecting the guards, but you can tell that they're like reacting to it. Like heads are turning, weird looks are being given, so they are definitely noticing that some weird things are going on. It does seem as though they're at the stage of like, oh, that was weird, for right now. That's kind of what you do for the first little while, because I can only assume that you're like, you guys are like picking your spots in order to do this when you think the time is right. Because of course, if you want to haunt someone, you can't just go shake something and then just keep on shaking something and stuff. Time goes by. You guys got here, I think it was like mid-afternoon when you arrived here. As time passes, it gets to be like, evening dinner time. One of the guards goes to the kind of kitchenette area. He starts making some food. And when he's done, a couple of the other guards come over. They each grab a plate of stuff. And he also takes a plate upstairs to Stanford. Stanford does not come down the stairs.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Stanford's one, not gonna mingle with his guards, and two is probably hold up doing whatever he's doing right now.
Mhm.
Looking, looking, looking from the outside, like if we like just go outside the the compound here and we look in,
Mhm.
does the room Stanford is occupying have windows?
Yes. I haven't drawn windows on the diagram thing, but yes, this room up here, it has a window. Uh, all the rooms in the building, except like the walk-in closets, seem to have a window. I think it makes sense that the bathroom actually would have one, but it's one of those really tiny ones.
Right.
They're like you just have to
Mhm.
have a window for like safety reasons, but it's
Right.
not a full window like the others are.
So maybe I misunderstood. I thought this was a bed.
That is a bed, yes.
Okay.
This is the room that Stanford is in up here. This is presumably the one that he's going to be sleeping in.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was just in the bedroom. Okay.
Right, and this
Not,
is the
not
walk-in
quite
closet.
present. Correct. So that's the room that Jerome has gotten a chance to investigate thus far because, Stanford wasn't hanging around in it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we are in the next phase now.
So the sun is starting to set around this time then because it's going to be evening. The guards are eating dinner and stuff. We'll note that for those of you who are not used to being permanently in like spirit form in the living world, which is basically going to be Reiko, that you're going to need to at least occasionally take a break, go back to Limbo.
Yeah.
Saruki can escort you there, uh, or you can do it however you want to, but it's just going to be a matter of like uh, something I'm going to have to
I
just
think
like
I
make
will
note
need
of.
an escort because I think because of the bureaucratic nature of my situation, I'm not allowed to leave on my own. So it stands to reason that if I go back on my own, I'm not coming back. So yeah, I think an escort from either Saruki or Gideon would be necessary.
Uh, and I do think that like if we want to just say like well, Gideon can do that, we can do that, but it's up to I think what you guys prefer.
Right.
Right.
It also gives me the opportunity to do a supply run for anything that might be useful
Mm.
Right.
because the fulcrum does continue to exist.
Well, if there's any ideas of what you think would be, or anybody have any ideas to think might be useful for this, that would be a good idea. Is there anything anybody thinks would be something that Rico could grab that would be useful?
So
We
my
get
first thought
distilled.
was, can I get something that will just cause like is this a wooden house?
I'm sure that part of it is wood, but not it's not like a cabin.
Yeah, yeah, no, like like wooden studs and like that kind of thing, and then like like gypsum like walls kind of deal.
Well, so for now, I will tell you I don't know enough about architecture to answer this question properly.
Okay, is the framework wood?
A Of the
Is the
doors?
skeleton of the house wood?
I don't know. I don't know.
Almost a house
Why?
this
Why?
size, almost certainly. House
Yes.
this
Okay.
size, almost certainly.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like almost certainly. I'm just like, there are a few that are not, and I'm just like, oh wow, we
I
got a
don't
weird
know.
safe house
I
here.
don't know these things.
That's fair. That's fair.
Listen, you guys aren't dealing with an accountant anymore. I'm outside of my wheelhouse.
All right, so Reiko's going to look into something that will basically cause mold to spread through the wood.
Ooh. Okay.
Also, toy mites.
Gotcha. I can also tell you this from living in Florida. We could, depending on depending on the climate, mold can be on anything. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
I have an idea. So because of the spiritual nature of Limbo and the Fulcrum, can we get distilled existential dread put in the water
I can
supply?
probably ask
oh
around
my
for that.
god. Okay,
War
so
crime.
the short answer is yes, it's possible. That's gonna need to require some sort of investigation or finding the right place to get it. It might be
sounds-
possible that one of you knows how to get that already, but it's going to require a roll.
Can I talk to? Is this something Woody, my druggie contact, would have?
That's a good place to start. Distilled dread.
One, this sounds very illegal. Two, this sounds like a war crime. You're gonna take the water supply of this little idyllic neighborhood. People are gonna
No, just the house. Just the house. And it's just enhancing feelings they might already be feeling. That's all. It's okay.
Yeah.
just a few drops.
Yeah, because that's so much worse than infesting a house with mold and
Yeah.
termites.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to be honest here. It's like I'm basically just using the spiritual equivalent of like a little drop of LSD in their water to make them a bit more susceptible to stuff. It's okay. I did it in the past.
I will say that probably this would be something that would be frowned upon by certain organizations that some of you belong to.
Yeah.
I feel like Jerome would have an easier time of his job if he could just poison people into being scared of him all the time.
Like honestly, like
Yeah,
I think getting actual LSD would be easier to do and use and have cause less questions than it would be to put in liquid fear.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just.
Yes, so the long answer is yes, but da 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 da.
Okay, we'll table this idea and until we need to bust out the big guns. Things go bad enough we need to do this plan, then I'm not discounting it, but yeah.
I want to ask you: does Dentalion actually suggest this idea out loud?
He does muse on it, and I'm pretty sure
Okay.
Jerome's got like. No one's told him this is wrong.
All
So
right,
we're basically all like over in like a corner or outside the house, just kind of like having like
all
a
right,
huddle right now.
Dentalion, make an insight check real quick.
Oh, sure, make me roll insight.
Yep. All right.
Oh.
You look over at Tsurugi. She's frowning at you.
Okay, so we'll just table that discussion for now. Put it over here in the.
I'm right here. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
was going to
over
say-
here in the scary lady doesn't like
I will
it
say
file.
you also probably notice
So-
Gideon is looking
No,
sort
I
of
think it's-
semi-pointedly at you.
I think it's less the scary lady is here and doesn't like it, and more the scary lady causes that. What the hell? I'm right here. You don't need to do
I mean,
that.
she kind of is distilled dread, isn't she?
She's kind of already
Exactly.
is. Fair enough. Yeah.
Exactly.
Jerome is just shaking his head as Dentalion like basically tells him to like take steroids to do his job.
So I understand you've got a certain workman-like pride involved here. I'm just putting out options.
I do
As in, I would
believe
use performance
distilled
enhancers.
existential dread is a little bit against protocol, Dentalion. Just saying.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. Okay, I'm new at this job. I've only been at it for a few decades.
So the
my
mold and
first
termites idea. Are folks on for that?
It's my first century. Leave me alone.
Termites in the building.
They would have to be some fast acting termites, but that would be an
It's-
interesting idea.
The point is not to destroy the place; it's to make them go, "Oh, shit, there's problems with the house." Basically, give
Okay.
them something very physical and tangible to focus on, So while all this other stuff is just kind of like catching in their periphery, they do have something to actively give them a concern about, but something that is also incredibly like benign.
Speaking from experience, mice might be a better option.
So, from Reiko, from what you know, I think that this is, at the very least, like it's a kind of sensible like question to ask because, of course, hauntings and stuff are not just a matter of like stuff that you sense and everything like that. There have been multiple stories and cases of creepy haunted places and such that also seem to be experiencing a literal form of physical decay. So you know that this is a thing that happens. The question is not a matter of like, can you do it? It's a matter of, can you get the tools needed to do it, and would this be something that you would be allowed to do in your guys' position? It's probably bending the rules a bit.
Just want to say one thing. I just looked this up because I was thinking, it just popped in my head. Termites are not what they call at all common in the UK.
Really?
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of not warm enough for them generally.
So that
All
kind
right,
of thing
fair
might
enough.
be.
That
But
literally, I
that's
was
why
like,
I
I
also
wonder if
mentioned
are there termites in the UK?
I'm fairly confident there's mold though.
Oh God, yes. It's plenty humid.
Right. So that's kind of the thing is if it's going to cause you to have to affect things in such a way that it's like this would not normally happen. If someone were to catch on to it, then it could cause problems. But yes, mold could happen kind of anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just,
No, the mold is. I like the mold idea.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Mold's not a bad idea. Mice will be quicker and more obvious.
Well,
than
here's
termites.
a thing I can speak about from experience with mold. That causes you to cough a lot.
Mm.
Oh yeah, no, mold is awful.
So yeah, that's going to cause like very subtle physical affliction. That's not going to be like major, but it is going to be kind of like a minor stress. To just kind of like let that kind of thing well. It was like ever since we came here, I've been coughing. Ah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about like the speed at which things will develop. Like mold's gonna take a while.
Well, that's why I'm inclined to be like, okay, Fulcrum, do you have like a fast spreading mold applicator of some kind?
Speaking of biological weapons, Geneva conventions don't even know Geneva.
Interesting.
Because I imagine there's some kind of, hobbyist in the Fulcrum who's just like really fascinated with like biological growths, which mold would qualify as.
I guess that's technically true. You do also have a ray of sickness.
Yeah, that spell I can't cast because I have no level 2 spell slots.
It's
Oh,
a
wait,
first
no, it's a
level
level
spell.
1.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Excuse me, I've scrolled down. I suppose I could. That's
Wouldn't have quite the same lasting effect that you're asking about.
Well, you could combine the
That's like
two. You could apply some mold in some areas just to make it look like there's mold, a lot of mold, and then cast rage sickness people, and they'll 1 + 1 will equal 2.
Yeah.
My idea for the mold stuff is we would take it and then we would just put it inside like the central air thing and just have it go through the house that way. So it would be around like that way it would look like it's spreading naturally and it's going to come out where we want it to anyways.
right.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So let's say that I think that this is stuff that like as you're like going about over the course of a few hours doing your haunting stuff, you were also like figuring out like, okay, what if we were also to do this, kind of like discussing, having these discussions with each other occasionally while you're spending time going about this stuff. So when it's time for Reiko to take a break and head back to Limbo for a bit. That can be something that you can at least go around asking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll shelve the the distilled dread
Yeah.
idea.
All right.
I just love the idea. I do love the concept of distilled existential dread.
Yeah.
Right. The sun sets. I think that we'll have that. We'll go ahead and say that Tsurugi suggested that you had to go ahead and head back now, in case you guys want to do something overnight.
That sounds like a plan.
Right.
So that will probably be something that Reiko will at least be out for at least like an hour, and then can be back.
Yep.
You can make your trip to wherever you think to go in order to see if you can find this.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a thought of something I do want to do to the car.
Okay.
I want to use not shatter because that would be way too loud. Could I use chill touch on like the engine to because it's necrotic to like kind of, I guess it would be rust would be the way I would think of that would work with metal to like rust up parts of the engine to keep it from working.
So I'm like thinking if you use like pill touch, like actually do like it's we're actually talking about like cold here, right? With that,
It does necrotic damage.
No,
It is
no,
like-
chill touch
It's
is
not
okay.
actually.
necrotic.
It's not actually cold damage. Yeah.
oh, it's one of those. I was going to say like you've actually like made it cold, and then trying to use it would probably cause like a thermodynamic response.
Oh yeah,
Just
it
like
would definitely
like
be better
crack
if
the
it were actual
chassis.
cold damage. Yeah. I don't think that it's going to have an effect technically because it's like negative energy. It's anti-life energy, and it's an inanimate object.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then I guess we could just like disconnect something from there, or maybe use like like mage hand and like pull out a wire or something.
Yeah. Okay. That will require stealth, definitely.
Okay. Well, at least that's something I'm actually good at.
Mm.
All right.
16. Okay. Okay. You. So, do you want to like try and mage hand it from the outside of it, or do you want to like just quickly lift up the hood and rip some stuff out?
Definitely not going to lift up the hood because we lift up the hood and there's a camera there, then that's going to be something that somebody might notice on the camera.
All right. In that case, I'm also going to need your mage hand sleight of hand.
All right, mage hand, sleight of hand. All right, let's see how
This is
this
probably
works.
going to be tricky.
13. Do we want to do my int on that?
Yes, that's how
All right, then
we've
that'd be
established it works.
Yeah, that's 16 then.
Let me check here.
That's pretty good.
How does this work? Point you choose the range. You can use the action.
Can I see? Do I have to? I don't think I have to see it.
You don't have to see.
Yeah,
All right.
a lot of my things are like that. I chose them for that reason.
Yeah, a spectral floating hand appears at a point you choose within range. The hand lasts for a duration, which is up to 1 minute or until you dismiss it. You can use your action to control the hand. You can use the hand to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door container, slow or retrieve an item. All right. If you were trying to achieve something like very specific, like, oh, there's a single cable I need to pull out, I'm going to say that probably wouldn't have worked. But given that you're just trying to somehow sabotage it, I'm going to say that within a minute, having a spectral hand inside of the engine compartment, inside the hood, pulling and ripping at stuff, that you've probably done something.
Okay.
You can't really verify what you've done because you didn't roll incredibly well. And also, you're not looking, you can't see through the hood.
Right. I mean, I guess I can stick my head through the hood, but like there's no light in there, so it's not going to help.
Right.
All right.
But while you're doing that, you do occasionally hear some, thump, 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 ding, dunk, thumping under the hood. But you don't. No one seems to come outside to investigate.
All right. That's good. All right. That way, if they try to run, like they can't just stuff Stanford in the car and drive them off. We could just make them have to run screaming from the house.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Um. All right. Reiko, I guess we'll have you check in at the fulcrum. You definitely haven't encountered anyone previously that would be interested in the wonderful world of mold. Uh, so let's see, what's a way for you to like try and find someone?
Well,
Uh,
despite the fact that her charisma score is awful, uh, Reiko does happen to know a bunch of people here just by virtue of being kind of outgoing.
right.
So I imagine her methodology would just be to go to someone that she knows, probably like the weavers that she knows, the tailors,
Mhm.
and just be like, "Hey, do you know anyone who makes mold?"
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair enough approach, certainly. All right, yeah, you go to see Maple, who's made some clothing
Hmm.
for you, some dresses and such in the past. And
Undoubtedly has something new. We'll change into it immediately.
okay, cool. Uh, let's see, is there anything that I? Yeah, you're not sure if the thing that she's made for you is a dress or like a hoodie. It's a very odd combination of the two of them.
Either way, it's cool.
Yeah. Uh, hmm. She puts when you ask if she knows anyone, she kind of puts a finger to her chin, and she's like, "I'm not saying that there's nobody here who's into that kind of thing, huh? But can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'm afraid. Uh, let's see. But there's a lot of people here who are interested in the plants that we have that grow around the building. Might be somewhat related to what you're looking for. Maybe one of them knows."
Plants aren't fungus, but they're certainly close.
Right.
They probably have to deal with fungus when in dealing with plants. So yeah, stands to reason.
So uh, she leads you to another part of the compound. Uh, Actually, she takes you to like the one of the walls of the compound where someone is like up
Hmm.
on it, like tending to some of the vines and stuff that
Oh
grow
geez,
over the walls.
I fully imagine there to just be like a garden complete with trees on top of the structure.
Probably there is, but there's definitely stuff overflowing over the walls.
Yeah.
Uh, and hang on just one second. All right. So she calls up to the person who's working on stuff, and she calls to Petty, who is kind of in the middle of like hanging upside down from one of the vines while while having a set of hand shears in one of the hands, and is kind of like making, to your eye, microscopic uh adjustments to some of the leaves on one of them.
Ooh, a bonsai specialist.
And the person kind of cranes their neck upward to look down at you, uh, and says, "Oh, hi there. Uh, what can I do for you?" And Maple says, My friend here was looking for someone who might be a specialist on fungus, that kind of thing." And Pay's like, "Oh, well, yeah. Let me go. hang on a second. And they do something that you're not really sure how they do it, but kind of adjust their grip on the vine and kind of slide down it while one of the vines kind of coils around their ankle. Uh, and
I'm just
they
like
end
over
up
here, like I'm not certain if vampire or dryad in my head.
ends up dangling like head to head with you, like
Hi.
like Spider-Man kiss kind of height instead of
Oh,
20
hi.
feet up in the air. Uh, and Faye says, "Uh, yeah, so that they've got a they've got an area. My friend's got an area in the greenhouse up here. I could take you up there, or you could take the stairs too."
Well, if you're offering me an escort, I won't say no. Can you
Oh,
manage me?
oh, sure. Uh, do you get dizzy easily?
Not really.
Do you have a debilitating fear of heights?
I died in a cave. No.
Oh, that's okay. I died in a jungle.
Cool.
It is pretty cool. All right. And they hold out their hand to you.
Takes it.
All right. Uh, did you eat recently?
Nah.
Okay. And you are ascending.
Whee!
It's almost as if the vine that they've been dangling from is like a bungee cord. Uh, they've done something to it that causes it to kind of like snap upward,
Right.
which sends the two of you flying up towards the roof of the building. And you
Reiko is thrilled by this.
give me a let's see, give me a dexterity save.
Mhm. Uh, there we go. I don't know why. Like, it's too. Does anyone know how to make this like actual like die simulation on Roll20 go away before it?
I think
So it's
that's
just like
somewhere
instantly
in the
posts.
settings. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think you
there you
click
go.
on your portrait and then you go to your character settings and you can do it there.
Mm. All right, thank you. I will muck around with that. Either
Okay.
way, I rolled a 7.
All right. You stumble
I
as you
crash.
well, you don't quite crash because you are you've got the person who is parachuting with you strapped to your back essentially. Um but yeah, you don't exactly reach the roof with dignity. You don't quite you kind of end up going almost upside down yourself, because when you reach the roof, it gets to a point where Petty is able to land on their feet, and they were upside down previously, and you end up kind of going all the way up while dangling from their arm to going swinging above it, and so you almost kind of crash until they kind of like grab your shoulder with their other hand and set you down on your feet, and you're
Ah, thanks. I'm not aerodynamic.
and they say, "No, you're not." All right, so
It's part of my charm.
okay.
This is why I like Reiko. She just you can absolutely believe any damn dumb thing she says because she absolutely means it.
uh, Petty,
She is aggressively sincere.
you get the sense that this is good. This is good for Petty, who doesn't probably spends more time around non-animals than people. So
Mm-hmm.
they lead you off to an area, and you. This is your first time definitely being on the roof of the fulcrum, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just as chaotic as you would expect it to be. Um, this is kind of like the area where they don't really need there to be as much of a kind of like public welcoming space. So
Hmm.
it's the eccentricity is turned up even slightly more than it is on the ground.
So it's even cooler.
Mm. Uh, you pass by a bunch of little like hovels that are kind of set up on top of it for people's more kind of outdoorsy experiments that need some space away from others around them. You see quite a few people who seem to be in like Petty's kind of realm of doing horticultural type stuff,
Hmm.
growing weird plants, putting them in weird shapes and everything. There's like this is kind of like where some of them also do their more experimenty stuff before doing the displayed stuff, where they're more visible to people.
Right, right.
Uh, but
Right.
part of that, go
Reiko
ahead.
will get distracted and just be like, "Ooh," more than once. And she will start trying to ask questions, but she's also like very clearly conflicted with trying to stay on task in a timely manner.
Yeah, you're like tearing yourself away from a few odd sights that you see while you're on the way.
She's having some ADHD.
Hmm. Uh, event After a couple of minutes, Petty leads you to a greenhousey type of structure, and actually I say greenhouse. It's not really a greenhouse. It's I'm not sure what you would call it actually. I don't know the name for this. But it's like a plastic tarp tent to trap
Oh,
moisture inside.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
knee jerk, I want to say a hothouse, but I'm not sure if that's correct.
It's almost like a
Uh,
yurt. uh, Petty gets to the front flap, takes out a chunk of wood from their pocket, and knocks on it like they're knocking on a door, and then opens up the flap to go inside.
in she goes.
Okay. It is sweltering in here, uh, and you're kind of if you're still wearing the hoodie dress, I think you're probably regretting it immediately. But you are taken by some benches and shelves and stuff that have a bunch of mushroomy looking things on them. There's also quite a few glass cases of various samples and of stuff.
I'll just say that the hood is down.
Oh, okay.
That makes everything better.
Yeah, yeah. You don't definitely not going to feel it then. uh, and there is a figure, a pretty stubby looking kind of figure who is shuffling around between a few benches that you are
Hi.
led to.
Cool place. Well, not cool, but you know what I mean.
Uh, the figure kind of takes no notice of you for a few seconds, and after a few minutes, oh, sorry, Petty goes over to them and just knocks the wood on the table bench that they're working at, and does it about 3 or 4 times before eventually the person turns to them. So, you got a visitor?
Hi.
No, not me. Uh, and
Reiko
kind of
waves.
takes them by the shoulders and turns them to you as you're waving. Uh, you're looking at uh, like I said, stumpy figure who is wearing goggles and a mask, almost like a surgical mask.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and they take out a bit of cloth, uh, take the goggles off, and wipe the inside and outside of the goggles, and then put the goggles back on.
Mm-hmm.
And says, "Ah, yes, you are not met before.
Nope, but that changes now. Hi. I'm Reiko.
I am And Petty leans over to them. Lumen. I am Lumen. Yes, that is yes. You are Reiko. She just said it. Reiko. Yes. Okay. A few seconds pass, and they just start to turn back to the bench, and Petty kind of catches their shoulder and turns the back to you. I am Lumen. Hello. You are Reiko. Like they raise their hand up almost in recognition of you. You are Reiko.
When they raise their hand to like kind of like point, Reiko will like give out like a little yay gesture. Just
What?
like both hands, just like in like casual, like like kind of like not quite fists, but closed hands, and just be like, yay.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Lumen kind of looks at their palm and says, wait, reaches into their pocket, pulls out a very grubby looking piece of paper, holds it in their palm, and then looks at that. How do you do?
I'm great. And you?
Looks at the note. I am Webb. Thank you. I am well. Thank you.
Okay, no, like that's not Reiko not knowing what to say. That's me trying not to laugh super hard while I think of a funny Reikoism.
Mhm.
Um,
I
before
am
before the clarification occurs, she'll basically fire off. Ooh, I want to feel web.
Why would you want? Why would you want feel web?
Why not?
Yes. And scratches his chin.
I feel like this is a dangerous room suddenly. And not for either of the two involved.
Petty looks at Reiko, looks at Lumen, and they say, "Well, I want to get back to what I was working on before. Lumen, Reiko was looking for someone who knows about fungus. That is definitely you. I am going to go outside and keep on doing what I was doing. Thank you. Been nice meeting you. Goodbye.
Thanks for help.
You are welcome." Yes. Hmm. Lumen's shuffling around. You can tell occasionally that they're kind of like occasionally looking around at the various like experiments and stuff that they've got going on around him. And but he kind of checks his note again and says, "What can I do for you?"
Well, some of my coworkers and I are doing a haunting, and we were wondering if there was any mold that we could set up in a ventilation system to make it spread throughout a house very quickly.
Yes.
Cool. Can you show me it?
Oh, yes. Which one?
Whichever's best.
Oh, best. It's just a question.
Okay, whichever's fast. Let's put it that way.
Fastest. Okay. Yeah.
This is gonna turn out so bad.
Fastest.
He's asking for the
Everyone's going
fastest.
to
and it's like,
die. We're gonna have the friggin' Cronoptids from The Last of Us wandering around now.
Fastest spreading fungus for building. Yes.
Oh, but the still dread is bad.
This can fill up can infect entire neighborhood within 24 hours. Yes, fastest. Yes.
Less fast. One house. No spread.
Less fast, one house. Okay. Control fast for one building, easily confined to one building. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How big is house?
Bigger
Bigger than.
She'll just kind of gesture with her hands.
Nah. Hang on. Okay, you see Lumen gesture with his hands, and he nods. Got it. Okay. All right.
I really like how Reiko gets along best with the people who just don't talk conventionally.
All right. We're going to cut from here. I'm kind of distracting myself at this point. All right. While Reiko is out, because you guys specifically brought up this point, as night falls, you guys are waiting for Reiko and I can't whoever is escorting her at this time to come back. The uh, light goes on in the bedroom that you checked out before, Jerome.
Okay. That all right. Then it seems like this is a good chance for us to check out the other room. Is there light on in there, or is the light off?
You creep around to the other side of the building, and the light is indeed out.
All right. That suggests that unless like Stanford's got OCD, and he's very, very meticulous about turning lights on and off, like my mother is, that he's probably not going to be coming back here for the time. So this would be a good time for us to get in there. Good thing Jerome can just fly and go through the wall. So
Okay.
all
Just
right.
make
So
a. If you're infiltrating the building again, just give me a stealth check. You're going to have advantage on this
all right.
for multiple reasons.
Right. That's not terrible.
13. Okay. Okay. You go up and you poke your head through the window up here. The light, it is dark in here. The only light that you are getting is what is filtering through the window, and the blinds are drawn, so there's not a lot of that at this time.
Which isn't a problem because Jerome has a little light vision, I believe.
Oh, does
Or
he?
not is it it's dark vision here, isn't it?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, dark vision. Yep. Light's not a problem.
You're, yeah, a lot of you guys specifically chose stuff that'll give you dark vision and stuff. So good for
I-
you guys.
I have the darkest vision.
You can see in dim light within 120 feet as if it were bright light. And okay, yeah, sure. So it's not a problem for you. But you can tell that it's dark, but it's not a problem for you. You fucking owl, you. All right.
Right.
So immediately obvious to you is that there is a desk on one side of the room. Here, let me see if I can kind of. Yeah, it's not actually going to be all that relevant for me to actually draw this stuff, but it is. It is a very busy office type setup. There's some. There is a small filing cabinet uh, next to a desk, and on top of the desk there is a laptop that is closed up, as well as a few other things. But if you want more information, you're going to need to look more closely and get me an
Yeah.
investigate.
Yeah, you just, I'm just surprised that there's a filing cabinet of all things, like hard evidence of what could possibly be illegal dealings. Is this? All right, it's 15.
All right, 15. What do you want to look at first?
Let's take a look at the laptop to start with.
Okay, it is a laptop. If you open it up, it is on a lock screen.
All right, does it say that this is like a password one, or is this one that like wants like is it asking me for a password? Is it asking me for a print? Is it asking me for like a face scan?
It does seem as though it is just for a password.
All right, that's not good. that's not something I want to like lock myself out of right now. So he just is like, okay, well, here's his laptop. We know where it's at. Let's put that away, and then we'll take a look at the filing cabinet in the desk.
All right. You shuffle through the filing cabinet, and it does actually become obvious to you why this stuff is in a filing cabinet. It's a bunch of receipts and stuff, but honestly, as you look through it, none of this looks like it is going to put anyone in jail. There are receipts for and contracts for like his for the people that he has hired to be like his bodyguards, background checks on them and stuff. It does definitely look as though some of them have criminal histories, but it's for violent crimes, getting into fights and that kind of thing. Um, and you also find like receipts for some of the artwork that he has purchased at auction, stuff for like donations he's made to the exhibit and stuff like that.
Hmm. Do those background checks have any kind of like profiles on those guys? Like, is there any kind of like information we can use to even like heighten things up on the guys
Okay.
at a quick glance?
No, I'm afraid not.
That's a shame.
I left that up to the dice because it was something I hadn't thought of before, so it doesn't look like it.
All right. And what about the desk?
So on top of the desk, next to the laptop, you see a couple different things. You see what you recognize to be an external hard drive, which is not connected to anything. You also see a couple of weird parts that are on the desk. There's a couple of things that it looks as though Stanford has been like tinkering with this, uh, either like modifying it, taking it apart, or putting it together. And there is, from what you can see, it is about the size of a cell phone, and there is a power pack next to. Here, let me actually make sure that I'm describing this right.
I have some ideas of what this might be, but I want to hear your confirmation when you describe it.
Yeah. Okay. So this thing is actually it's a bit bigger than I described. This thing is there is a section that is like the base of it, which is about 8 inches by 6 inches, uh, and there is a power device that it's rather a power source that's hooked up to just a big chunky battery, and then in the center of it there is a slot for like a cartridge of some kind to feed into, and around that area there is very thin metallic cable that is wound around that area over and over and over again.
Like around around the slot, there's like
Around the
nothing.
slot,
Yeah,
yes.
there's nothing in the slot right now. There's just the
It
cable.
is currently unoccupied.
Hmm. That sounds like some kind of electromagnet device. Like he would use it to like quickly wipe data off of something like a hard drive or a cell phone or something. Can't let him do that. Okay. Is there are there any like tools or like wire snips or anything?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
there's a couple of like tools like screwdriver and such that are also that some of which have been there is like also a small toolbox that is currently placed on the filing cabinet that you saw while you were over there, but there are also some tools that are just laying about.
All right. I think the best way to I want to like sabotage this thing, but not in a way that's very obvious.
Okay.
I don't want him to try and use this thing at all. But I think taking like the hard drive right now and the laptop right now, there's just the risk that like he might just get up and come out here in the middle of the night and need to do something on this, and that gives up the game. So the best option is to just sabotage it in such a way that he can't like repair it by the time we're ready to do what we're ready to do.
Right. And also, let me do one more thing. Okay. All right. So you're thinking of some way to disable this in a manner that wouldn't be obvious. Okay.
Yeah, immediately obvious. I mean, like if he kept this on, like that's not the worst thing in the world. He's just gonna think somebody downstairs did it, probably. But it's still something that I would want to avoid if I could. All right. So I think is there a way to get into it easily?
To
Or
get
to
into
maybe
to get into
yeah,
what?
into the inside the device, like the base of the device.
Oh
And
yeah, it's not like this is something that's basically been jury rigged, so it's not as if it's not like if you were to have bought this device and so there's a hard casing with panels and stuff that are keeping you from getting at the innards. Most of them are exposed.
all right. So like are there like diodes and like various things like like on like a regular electronic, just like the various little bits that would be like on a board.
Yeah, there's stuff that is connecting the power source to it and then connecting the cable, the wire to it.
All right. So he's gonna he's well, first he's gonna unplug it in case he. I don't know if he can be electrocuted in this state, but like let's not like cause triple power surge right now. So he disconnects the power and then he takes the wire strips and he kind of like surreptitiously like cuts something between the power and the wire in a way that like you wouldn't notice it unless you actually like sat down and looked at it.
Got it. Okay. That's going to be a regular sleight of hand check.
Okay. This is where we find out if I can actually do this check on my own.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
You make a little snip in it that you can tell has disconnected the wiring from the board itself, and it looks relatively surreptitious to your eyes. It doesn't seem immediately obvious. It's not like there's a giant gap in there.
All right. So whatever this is, he's not going to be able to turn it on without at least some repairs, probably. So that's a good thing. Um, I'm not going to hook it back up to the power immediately. I'm just going to put like just kind of like leave like the power thing like right next to it, like oh he disconnected because he was working on it and maybe he just forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know if plugging this in is going to cause an effect or not. So. All right. So we've gone through the desk. We've messed with the thing on the desk. We looked at the laptop that we can't get into. Is there anything else in here?
Hmm. Mm. This is me just trying to think if there is anything else that would be relevant to you. No.
Okay. And then at this point, Jerome heads out, and then when they next have their next little meeting before they go, which is probably going to be I assume it's going to be the grand finale. He lets them know that okay, these are the things in his room that we want to get the external hard drive, and we want to get the laptop, and then I guess that would be up to Saint Jerome and D'Italian to grab the phone, which he probably took with him.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. And I think that that's a good time for Reiko to come back as well, because you were poking around it there for a little while. So. All right. And Reiko, yes, Lumen was able to give you a thing that he claims will spread very quickly, but shouldn't completely destroy the ecosystem of this area, basically.
Rigo did mention, putting it in a ventilation shaft to achieve the desired effect.
Yes.
So.
So it's not like you're going to have to wait for it to naturally spread through the wood, which would definitely take a lot longer.
I come presenting mold.
Excellent. All right. Do we want to sneak this
Okay.
baby in and let it start settle, and then we can start
Yeah.
planning our finale.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna be right back, and we'll see what we want to do then.
I'm surprised things have gone so well so far. So either they haven't gone so well, and we're about to find out really hard, or we're going to trip at the finish line.
Yeah.
Oh no, Sanford's dead. It's just like Morrowind. Oh no, you've severed the line of fate. You will never know the truth.
Oh well. Let's go blow shit up then.
We can still win though. We just have to go find the actual problem and kill it.
You gotta go find that magic dwarf in a cave and bring him the glove and the hammer and the book and have him teach us how to use it. Then go do the thing. Right. So so obviously I have my plans for what I want to do, and Dantalion, you have you were to do some things as well in that. I think this would be a good time for Reiko and Gideon to talk about what they want to do with the guards.
Well, I've already mentioned basically what my plan is.
Okay.
I put in the text in there. I don't really have much beyond that I can do. So.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not even looking at the VTT because it's really bright and it hurts my eyes.
I'm sorry to hear that. No, long story short, I can cast Cause Fear at level 2, so that'll be able to, in theory, afflict 2 people with the frightened state, and then intimidation.
All right.
Now, intimidate's not my best skill, but I'm pretty decent at it. So.
Plus, you're gonna have probably
Tsurugi there,
advantage
yep.
on that.
And Tsurugi and all the other stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm leaning on.
All right. So cause fear. They're either gonna
I can only affect 2 people though, unfortunately.
So the third one is going to be Reiko's purview.
Yeah.
What?
There's 3 guards. And, yeah.
I suppose I could do the Ray of Sickness on that one.
Yeah, just do ghost girl stuff with the ray of sickness and
just wait for them to go to the bathroom, Zorge, and just let them just kind of stay there a while.
What's that line from that song of Beetlejuice? that sound of clean white pants turning brown.
I was thinking of the bowel disruptor from Transmetropolitan.
Oh Jesus.
I'm not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about like making him puke.
Fair. That works too.
That works too. Yeah.
Yeah, just like make him just be like, oh, I do not want to leave here because I feel like I'm gonna puke at any moment, and I feel awful. And ooh, this is where the drugs are.
Yeah. Plus, with the whole thing with the fungus going on, that's probably gonna help with that too. Making them sick is not going to be a problem.
Hard.
I'll say
Okay.
like I'm not looking to actually hurt anyone with it, so ignore like the damage die function. I just want them to feel like just just feel awful for a while.
Right.
Okay.
You can also do that by hurting them.
You're not wrong.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So, Jerome, you've done your poking around. Night has fallen, so it does seem as though people are, for the most part, trying to get some sleep right now. When you look around, like the first floor, it does appear as though there is still some light emanating from the living area, but it's not like the light is on. But there is like a faint light, as if someone is like on their phone or like has the TV on, something like that.
Mm.
It is completely dark upstairs now.
Okay. Then I think it's time to start start the big show. So Jerome's gonna get into position. I think the Italian should hit the things when he sees Gideon, Suri, and Reiko dealing with the guards downstairs.
All right, so can you just lay out for me how you're going to go about this? What's your plan?
Oh, for the guards.
So for Reiko's part, she is just going to wait for whichever one of the guards first goes to the bathroom, and then she's just going to torch them with the Ray of Sickness, and will then use Thaumaturgy to slam the door, and then ghost lock it from the inside with her own, and just kind of like leave them there to just like have their own troubles.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll be casting cause fear at level 2, so I can affect 2 of them.
I will frag when this happens. I will frag the
Degenerator.
whatchamacallit, the generator, and then Misty step up to
Yep.
Stanford's room.
Yep. But yeah, cause fear and then intimidate you, and then attempting to intimidate them. Doing the hi, I'm a spooky skeleton man stuff.
Okay.
Run.
Yeah. For Jerome's part, he's gonna be heading to the closet, and when he hears Dantilian pop in, he's gonna grab a painting, and we're gonna put it like somewhere where Stanford could see it when if he wakes up. In fact, we might actually be waking him up to do this, and then he's going to be using the scroll of what is it? It's phantasmal. What is it called?
Phantasmal Killer?
It is not. Did I write it on my scroll? That's
You
kind
don't have anything that begins with phantasmal in your spell
spells.
list.
It was a spell scroll. What was the spell for? Because I got that from that was the thing he brought in when he started this.
Yeah.
Let me just look. All spells. It was a second level or a third level. Why is it not? All spells. Phantasm. Phantasmal Force.
Phantasmal Force. You craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature you see within range. Target must make an intelligence saving throw. Failed save, you create a phantasmal object, creature, or other visible phenomenon of your choice. No larger than a 10-foot cube. Perceivable only to the target for the duration. Spell has no effect on the undead or constructs. Includes sound, temperature, and other stimuli, also evident only to the creature. Okay. While a target is affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it were real. The target rationalizes any illogical outcomes from interacting with the phantasm. An affected target is so convinced of the phantasm's reality, it can even take damage from the illusion.
If I choose to, I don't have to make it actually hurt him.
Right.
So it says
Uh,
can deal. It does not say it has to deal. So I don't have to kill. I can do this without killing Stanford if I want to.
Target can use its action to examine with an intelligence or investigation check against your spell save DC. If the check succeeds, the target realizes the phantasm is an illusion and the spell ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, in my favor with this, I do want to remind you that Jerome did specifically get an image and voice of Cecilia Teagues. Plus, we have all this Doom going on, so I think what he's going to be doing is going to be at least at advantage, if not, better at this. Like, this is something that he has been planning from the moment the hunt began, and he took steps to get it ready.
Okay. All right. So,
I have a feeling that everything kind of goes into motion as soon as Reiko uses the door slam.
Pretty much.
That's a good signal.
It is actually, yeah.
okay. Everyone give me a stealth check with advantage for you to get
Sure.
into your appropriate positions.
All right,
Sounds
I will roll a stealth check
Really?
with nothing.
Oh, geez. Okay, like that's a 7, but I guess like Jerome could just come through the wall into the.
Aha! I am
Not bad.
sneaksome.
Not bad.
Gideon.
Nat 20.
Ooh, dear.
You got advantage though.
No, I don't. I
She
have
has she has
disadvantage.
disadvantage normally, so
Do you think Reiko is stealthy?
Oh boy. Okay.
Let me do my reroll.
Okay.
Yeah. For Jerome's part. Really?
Well, all right then.
That's awful. Oh, okay. Okay. Like for
In
Jerome's
fairness, I am slamming a door.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you can. Yes, you require the least amount of infiltration, I think.
Stealth
Probably.
is an option for this mission. Revving a chainsaw.
Okay.
We are trying to scare them.
I'm ready to carve through the creator.
All
For
right.
Jerome's part, if he does happen to see or hear Stanford get up, he can just cast sleep and put him back to sleep for a minute.
That's
So-
true. Okay, here's what we'll do for this then. No. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. And. Okay. All right. Wasn't expecting that result. All right. You guys start to take your positions. Reiko, as you are getting set to kind of take sight on the water closet on the first floor, you
Call it a shitter like a real person.
right. Well, it's a British fucking place.
Fair.
So yeah.
Wouldn't it be the loo?
Water closet's another
Yes,
term they
it
use.
would be. Yeah.
That's another term they would use, yes.
Pretty sure they use shitter. I've hung out with enough of Gav to know they'd call it a shitter.
I think that might just be Gav.
All right. As you're getting set up to kind of like take our target there, some sort of branch snaps under your foot as you approach.
A branch inside?
Well, I assumed you were doing it from the outside. If you're taking position inside.
I mean, like, aren't we all inside?
Okay. Let me. You knock a cup that has like some toothbrushes in it on the floor. Very loud clatter.
Oh no, you
Uh,
should go pick those up inside the bathroom.
There is a shuffling from out in the living area, getting your setup. You see the guy who is like actually like watching over stuff.
Yep.
2 of the 3 guards are like in sleeping bags. They're taking shifts. But the guy who is just kind of like like had the TV on mute. He his head jerks up and he gets up and he goes to check out what's going on in the bathroom. Flicks on the light, looks on the floor, sees the toothbrush. The toothbrush is scattered around, and he starts, looking around in suspicion for a couple seconds.
Is there
Come on, pick them up, dude. Come on, don't just leave it there. Clean up the room.
Okay. He bends down to pick up the toothbrushes.
Cool. As soon as they're like all back where they belong, sick time.
All right. You cast Ray of Sickness.
Yeah, I'm not looking to do damage with this whole thing, so I just want him to feel like actually sick for a while. So just kind of going off script with the spell effect.
All right. It is a ranged spell attack against the target, so I guess
It is a
roll your
ray.
attack.
Reika will finger gun.
Pew 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 pew.
All right, roll your attack.
It's a save, I think. Or no, it is it? Oh no, it is an attack.
It's a ranged spell attack.
Okay.
Okay. So that is an 8.
This guy doesn't know I'm here. Do I get advantage on that?
You do, yes.
All right. Slash R. D. 20 plus 5. Well, all right then.
Your rolls this session have been something for Naya. Oof. Okay. Let me see here. All right. You miss with your ray.
Pew.
The guy jerks up from picking the toothbrushes off the ground, and again he looks around suspiciously.
I do it again.
Okay. Roll again.
Okay,
That's
15.
better.
There we go.
15 will hit. Okay. He rolls for a Constitution DC of 13. You are so close to the guy that you can see his eyes dilate. And he immediately drops the toothbrushes again.
I was waiting for him to put them back onto the shelf on the countertop.
Oh, okay, fine. He knocks the toothbrushes off the counter again.
Oh, fine then. Be that way.
Everyone is a cat in this bathroom, so
All right, thaumaturgy, door slam shut.
oh yeah, that so that's no trouble. He bends over the toilet and starts emptying his guts into it.
Locked door, face through wall, goodbye.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess. By this door slam, I think it's when Dantelian does his thing.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, you slammed the door. Let me just. Okay. One of the guards that is in the living area, getting you start to see starting awake.
That's fine. That's fine with me. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Reiko is going to admit to no one that she missed her first act of
No
pointing
one
at
will
someone
ever know.
menacingly.
No one will ever know. I'm waiting for Dantelian to cut the power, but
Yeah, I will cut the power once I hear the door slam.
All right. You throw the switch. The TV goes off in the living area. Also, the light from the bathroom goes off as well.
all right. Excellent. I will now cast Cause Fear on the 2 of them.
All
So I'm
right.
casting at level 2.
I don't know how this works against sleeping targets.
It's a.
I think they're awake at this point.
I mean, it doesn't matter if they're awake or not. I mean, like I imagine that being afflicted with the frightened state will probably wake you up.
Or give you nightmares.
But they wisdom save a 13 for both of them.
Okay, you can target one additional creature for each level. First, okay, you target both of them. Wisdom save. Concentration up to 1 minute. That is a fail. All right. The guy who is awake immediately is.
And do they have any
gripped by
penalties due
terror.
to Tsurugi round, by the way?
Everything you do in order to cause fear specifically gets advantage.
Okay. So they get disadvantage on this then, I guess?
Yes, since it's that makes sense. All right, actually, you get the guy who's asleep too.
Excellent.
In that case.
So they're both suffering from the frightened state.
They are now both frightened. Okay.
All right. Sibilant whispers of, terrifying things and basically run.
All right, both of them.
I will make an intimidate check. I'm guessing this is with advantage then.
Yes, you do. Both of them
14.
kind of like fall off their like cots. One of them was like on the couch with the sleeping bag around him. He falls off of that. One of them is rolling around trying to get free of the sleeping bag.
Yep.
You have a 14 to cause intimidation. Is this opposed by anything? I don't remember how freaking intimidation.
It's against it targets their will, I guess. They're
I think intimidation.
I guess it may be opposed by like a wisdom save, I guess.
Let's take a look. Intimidation.
I don't think it's usually set in an opposing roll sort of fashion. I think it is just a difficulty class.
It's a DC based on probably based on like 10 plus their whatever their appropriate mental stat would be, I guess.
These guys have been primed. I don't think it's going to be that.
They're both suffering from the fear condition already.
Yep.
Let's see here.
And the mold and
and everything.
And the setup.
Right. Well, frightened condition, not the fear.
They are leaving trails on as they bolt out. Let's put it that way.
Creature cannot willingly move closer to the source of the fear. That's Gideon. Disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source is within line of sight.
By the way, I'm being sort of vaguely, visually present. Spooky skeleton with size.
Right, you're flicking in and out of.
Yeah.
Gideon, you should be standing near the stairs. That way they can't.
Oh, sure.
Run
I'll be near the stairs. That's a great idea. Yes.
Yeah. I like that.
If they come anywhere near me, they won't. But if they do, I'll do the sort of creepy bone hand on her shoulder at some point. But
okay. And you're trying to cause them to run.
Run!
Well.
Get the hell out! Go! Just go! They are not paid enough for this.
Right. Okay.
I don't think anybody's really paid enough for this bullshit.
Who are you gonna call? Somebody else.
And don't call the Ghostbusters. They're frauds.
It's
literally a scene in Casper. You had
Dan Aykroyd made a random cameo as a ghost as a character.
Oh yeah, call someone
Tries
else.
to get rid of the ghostly uncles and he just leaves and he's like, "Who you gonna call? Someone else." And leaves.
I remember that actually. Yeah.
All right. Neither of them are actively like getting up and running out right now, but they are scrambling and uncoordinated.
I will keep hovering and keep trying to be spooky. This will suffice, I suspect. But
so that's what you're doing. And on the second floor, then.
All right.
Oof. All right, you bamf up into the second floor. Dentalion, Jerome, you've got a painting, right?
Yeah, he's going to put it up. Like, I don't think like if there was a place to put it on the wall, he would put it on the wall. But like, I don't think there is one. So he's probably just got it leaned up against the wall. One of the bigger ones. So it's somewhere where. Sanford will be able to, see it from his bed, when we're ready to get it up. Okay.
Does the subject of said painting matter to you at all?
It has to be a Cecilia T. That's the only thing that matters.
All right. You actually, while you go through them, you find that there's actually a few paintings here that are not teak paintings, but there is at least one here.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he didn't buy the one that features Jerome. Like, that would have been perfect. But like, having seen that painting, he would be at least be primed that if he does see Jerome, that it would be something he could explain away in the dream state.
Yeah, you see what looks to be actually this painting is what looks to be of a banshee, uh, kind of like on a pier, kicking her legs through the water.
Hmm.
Is it the
Jerome's
one
kind
I
of
know?
Potentially.
like
It's kind of
there
hard to
was
tell right now.
yeah. That is something that like Jerome's like, is this the one that we thought was involved with stuff, and we never really got around to like doing. Okay, so he puts it there. Okay, once it's all set up, I'm assuming Dantillion is ready to turn into Tom Selleck or whatever.
Yep.
He starts the Phantasmal Force. Now the
All right.
Phantasmal. No, so I'm going to describe this, and we'll see how well it works. So what he does is he does make an image of Cecilia Teagues, and
Of
she,
her figure, her person.
yeah, her person. She is like looking at the painting, at the thing, and then when he wakes up, she's going to start talking to him. It's like, I know what you did, Stanford. I thought you liked my paintings. And then, like, when she like turns to look at it, like her eyes are gonna be gone and like just having blood coming down and everything. I didn't know you liked me that much, Stanford.
Okay.
Why did you do it, Stanford?
All right. And also, you're there, then, Italian.
Yep, I am literally sitting in the corner with a cigarette, and every once in a while my face lights up from the cherry.
All right.
Could
Okay.
have been so much easier. You just had to make a deal.
All right. So we're going to have Stanford. First off, there is a lot of noise going on below ground. Let's see. Below ground. The next floor below, I mean.
Mm.
It actually, you apparently did a fucking number on him with oh wait, you didn't end up having to cast sleep. My mistake. You didn't need to do that. So he does actually start awake. I was going to say, like, if you
Yeah.
put him under, he might take a while to wake up, but he does. As a bunch of noise is going on the first floor at this point, people shuffling around, shouting in surprise and fear. And he starts up, looks around, and goes for the light immediately. And then he sees the phantasmal force that you have conjured. All right, so this is a save for him. An intelligence saving throw. All right. He's going to have disadvantage on this. What is your DC for a second level spell then, Jerome?
My spell DC
Doesn't matter.
is
That is a low roll. All right.
okay.
I I've been rolling for all these guys for all the stuff that you've been doing. Some of the guards have had some luck. He has rolled like single digits on everything so far.
Okay, yeah.
His face pales as he takes in this horror movie scene. And sees the seemingly back from the dead, even if you didn't think that she was dead, figure of Cecilia looking at the painting, then turning back to him with eyeless, bloody sockets. Yeah, he he failed to say if he thinks that this is actually happening in real. And if you were in that situation, you would think that that's fucked up. So he is
Yeah.
making an expression of horror at the moment while he's, like kind of like backing up against the headboard of his bed.
So, and as this is still going on, she's like, "Why did you do it, Stanford? What did I ever do to deserve this?"
I did, Cecilia, I didn't, I just,
Oh,
don't
but you
understand.
are responsible, Stanford, and all of this could have been avoided if you just told me what I wanted to know.
What are you doing here?
Stanford, I'm always here. You
Who
can't
are
get
you?
away. I'm the bad guy,
What?
and I'm always going to be here until you give me what I want.
What do you want?
I want the scuttlers. I want the drug. I want to know just what's going on.
You can have it all. You can have everything that I know about about those crooks. I don't. I was cutting things off with them anyway. Please ship it. I can tell you where it's going to be delivered to them, and you can take it instead.
But who's making it, Stanford? Who's cooking this stuff up?
All right. So this is going to be an opposed check now.
All right.
You are intimidating. He is going to be making a resistance against this, and also he's going to get a chance to try and see through the illusion because I think you've been talking long enough and on this.
Does at this okay? So before he gets the chance to do this, because I can still cast a spell that is just a spell and not like like as long as it doesn't require concentration, I can do it.
Yes, correct.
So I'm going to cast catapult on something within the room and send it flying across the room against the wall, just shattering it against the wall.
All right.
Just to really drive home what's going on.
It flies in a straight line to 90 feet in a direction you choose before falling to the ground, stopping early if it impacts against a solid surface. If the object would strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. All right. And you're doing this to like further the freaking him out.
Just like
Yeah.
we are. The screws are twisting even harder. I want him to talk. I don't want this to have to us to have to actually kill him tonight if we can help it.
All right.
I'm guessing I get advantage on intimidate here.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Okay. So we're going to do we're going
Bang.
to do 3 different things here. All right. Well, okay. So your roll is 20 with advantage.
Yeah.
We're gonna take that and we're gonna put it over here, put a pin in it. All right. To determine how much what the difference between your rolls is based on his roll, we're going to resolve the other 2 things. As in, is he going to see through the illusion, and how badly does the catapulting affect him? So do the catapult first. We're going to have this be, I know you're not trying to hit him, but
Yeah.
this is, I think, we can call it an aggressive act. So roll an attack with your intelligence bonus as the modifier.
So a spell attack.
A spell attack, yes.
All right. I'm just gonna do chill touch, and we'll use that as the spell attack. Whatever.
Sure.
24.
24. Okay. We'll call that successful. That is he starts to answer you, and like a drawer flies out of the dresser in the closet and smashes into the wall like over his bed, and he ducks away from it. We'll call this him having again disadvantage on seeing through the illusion. Phew.
Yeah.
Just
Almost
be
as
sure to
bad as
tell
my
the truth.
Yeah.
Other things can go flying.
Okay.
Incidentally, there are harmless tremors going through the bed right now.
I mean, that might calm him down a little.
No. They're harmless,
those.
not polite.
Oh, it's like the chair at their sharper image. I like this.
All right. So the roll on the die for that is an 11.
More
That
to the
is a
point, it's like
6.
creaking really bad.
Okay. So we're going to throw some negatives on that. And let's see. So his lower roll is a 6. His normal intelligence modifier is pretty good. Actually, it'd be wisdom, I think, like will or charisma, something like that. So that's going to be slightly lower. So normally that'd be like a. Okay, he's taking penalties of that. Okay, I'm going to say that your 20 probably it definitely beats him by at least 10. I don't know if it gets to 15. So that's quite a bit. Okay. Okay. I can't remember what the rules for levels of success are. You are trying to extract information from him that he keeps closely guarded. But I think that you have beaten him enough that you were able to succeed even with that. All right. Okay. Here's what happens.
Okay.
So Stanford is fucking cowering in the corner in the dark, in his like pajamas, while a ghost of a woman he thinks is dead stares at him, and stuff is flying around. And he in panic says, I don't know exactly who it is. I just know that they are most likely on the board of they must be on the board for clay care. It's who they get it's the only one who can provide the drugs. I was going to be paid in stock for them, and so it has to be one of them.
Clay care, you said?
Clay care. Yes.
Wonder if he has a phone number for his contact.
So I'm going to walk over to his drawer. I'm going to say, your phone's in here, right? And sort of open it up.
It's just a number. It's everything that the only way that I'm contacted is through phones that are completely independent from the ones that I normally use. I was going to be wired a code so that I could access the stock from. They said it was going to be. Listen, I'm a fixer, all right? I'm the point of contact between the scuttlers and other criminal groups in the continent for my supplier, all right?
Stanford, you undersell yourself. You're not just a fixer. You're a vital link in the chain.
No.
Right now, you're the weakest link.
No.
Tell me everything before I have to snap you.
Yeah, like Cecilia is slowly inching towards the bed at this point.
Oh dear.
Get the password for his laptop.
Okay. One more thing here. God, he's rolling so badly.
You create an instant.
He hasn't rolled above a single digit on the die this entire time.
You create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice within range. All right, so basically from just kind of right over there, there's a clap of thunder.
It's not even raining.
Nope.
Damn it when I say snap you.
Hang on. Let me think of an appropriate thing here.
I'll line it up like Reiko's just going to basically be like suddenly just be like your Foley person that's just going to provide you with ambient, like spooky sounds or like loud noises or whatever. So it's like if you raise your voice, then you get thunder or something.
That's a good reference here. Machiavelli! It's Machiavelli!
That's a hell of a password.
Wow, really? I didn't realize you were such a basic bitch there, Stanford.
Thunder.
I mean, yeah.
It's just like, you couldn't even go with Sven Dolly?
So I'll take the laptop and his phone, the contact phone,
Okay.
Get the hard drive too. The external hard
Yeah.
drive.
The external hard drive. I'm going to message to because I have message as a cantrip to you guys. Are we done here? Do we need anything else?
Hmm.
I'm
I say we made out like bandits on this one.
Yeah. At this point, like, I think it's been long enough that Cecilia would be starting to fade because of the length of
It
the
only
thing.
lasts up to a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
So at this point, like,
Okay.
St. Jerome does like manifest and like come out of the closet, and like he's like, I think it's time you think about the things you've done, Stanford, and then he just casts sleep on him,
Gonk.
and we just get the hell out of here.
I mean, if you do it right, you might just think the whole thing was a nightmare for a while.
I'm
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to leave a note where I picked up his burner phone, and it just says "Be seeing you."
What did I eat last night? Why is my bed? Oh wow!
Covered in
Oh.
clothes in that drawer and stuff. Yeah.
Nice prison reference, Eric.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Lord, you guys.
I'm just waiting.
Let me just
I'm
make some. Go ahead.
So Reiko's just going to kind of like hang around for a little bit because eventually, you know, the sickness spell ends, and she kind of wants to see the interaction of these two interacting.
He just walks out, and everybody's just terrified. He stares at Stanford's asleep in his own mess.
How long?
He's
does
holding
that,
pizza boxes for some reason.
How long does that ray of sickness last? By the way, is it just until save?
It's until save.
Until save. Okay.
So for like, you know, cinematically appropriate reasons, probably a minute.
All right. Gideon, your fear.
It's concentration. I
keeps
can
up
let
through
it.
all this.
It's minute or concentration.
Right, and I mean, all this is happening within a minute because talking's a free action, etc. And
I'm going to maintain it until I know Dantalion and Jerome are out, and then I will drop it and fade out.
Right, I did enough rolls here to tell you that the two people you have it afflicted on do not make their saves, so they're still like
good
at a loss of what to do.
Yeah.
Actually, as it so happens, the door to the bathroom opens before anyone who is actually under fear effects gets out of them, and he just looks around like in confused, like what the fuck? Why are you screaming? We're a bunch of babies. You have a fucking nightmare.
And
I'm going to drop darkness for a leave, just because I'm decided to make that my signature for him.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to give this guy a crippling fear of the dark, honestly.
Man's gonna need a nightlight from
guys-
now on.
You guys vamoose,
Yep.
I assume then.
Yes.
All right, you have the laptop, you have the burner phone, you have the password to the laptop. All correct?
Yes. And
Yes.
and the hard drive thingy.
And the device upstairs that
Yeah.
I'm assuming was some kind of electromagnet to like.
Okay, so you just took everything off the desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In short. All right. Okay. You vamoose. You meet up with Tsurugi outside, who is smiling more creepily than ever, but she says nothing.
Enjoying
Very
yourself?
well.
You call it enjoying yourself, I call it existing.
This is a lot of fun.
That's an effective night's work, I suppose. Shall we
I
return?
don't know if you could hear it, but Reiko is clapping at that.
Yeah, Jerome is definitely beaming like at like just this was a perfect haunting. We got everything. Everybody's scared.
One person was technically not terrified to completely terrified.
Yeah.
He was merely
Like-
ill.
Like
Yeah, and that's the one that can just be like, Sam's like, no, you are all crazy. So
Yeah,
they've
he was
all
just in the
the same
bathroom, like-
experience.
He was just in the bathroom, turning his insides to his outsides, and a vile pinwheel spitting on the floor.
Yeah, and like even if like you know like this had to be like part of this greater scope thing, Stanford's been involved in some really messed up shit, and there's probably some people that would have legitimate beef on him on the other end, on the other side. So
Right.
he did like he also did his job here of getting some justice for people that have been wronged by this
Oh,
person.
sure. Anyways,
All right.
Gideon will open a portal and back to Limbo.
Okay. You guys leave. Job done for now. And all right, you've got what looks like some evidence to go through.
Yeah.
While you guys are on your way, Reiko,
Mm-hmm.
Jerome, roll raw intelligence checks for me, please.
I think I can. I think I can just hit next to intelligence, can't I?
I think so.
But yeah, there's just like an int save.
Okay. I will say that
19.
this is going to be difficult, but oof. Okay. You were there, Jerome, when this came up. The name Clay Care sounds familiar to you. You're not sure where you've heard it before. That's all I will say.
Fair enough.
Reiko has no idea about anything.
Okay. I think that this is a good break point.
Oh, yeah.
So we will go over your haul next time that we play Abeyance.
Hooray!
Thank you all for tuning in. I'm sorry that it took so long for us to get a session together and for me to figure out how to have you guys do this. But we will continue on next time.
Okay.
Which will be, I think, after we do the dungeons. and
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan. Yes.
All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm going to wrap up the recording here. Thank you for watching YouTube. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.